Hey folks, welcome to Shooting Up North. I'm your host, Louis Carlin, right here on the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching for the first time, please consider hitting that subscribe button. If you want to follow me on social media, I'm on Twitter at Shooting Up North, Instagram at Alliance PW Network. And feel free to join our Facebook group, the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. And just one more time, one more plea. If you're watching for the first time, or if you watched the channel before and you're enjoying the content and you don't subscribe, please consider hitting that subscribe button. All right, thank you. So let's get into some Impact Wrestling news. Today, the biggest news of the day, Big Khan signs a multi-year contract with Impact Wrestling. From Fightful, Impact Wrestling has signed a former WWE star. Zach Haydorn of the Pro Wrestling Torch reports that Big Khan has signed a multi-year contract with Impact Wrestling. Fightful spelling Impact wrong. They spelled it Imac. So shame on you, Fightful, for not doing the proofreading. But Big Khan signed a multi-year deal with Impact Wrestling. Terms of the deal were not disclosed. Khan made his Impact debut in February of 2022. Don't they look at this? It says Impact, two lines below Impact. Don't they proofread that? It's this is Fightful. This is the big time. It just looks. I'm sorry. It just looks ridiculous that they have one, two, three. They spelled impact out three times in capital letters, and one time they spelled it impact. So they need to do a little proofreading there. Remember, it's Fightful. Come on, SRS. You got to do a little proofreading there. Okay, I know mistakes happen, but it's Fightful. They shouldn't be. But anyway, um, so where was I? Okay, so Khan signed a multi-year contract with Impact Wrestling. Terms of the deal were not disclosed. Khan made his Impact debut in February of 2022. He lost to Josh Alexander in a squash match. I remember that well. I was very surprised it was a squash match. On the February 22nd episode of Impact Wrestling, Khan later returned to Impact in November and joined the design alongside Alan Angels, as we know. Shortly thereafter, the group was going through a major change as Eric Young left the company a few weeks later and Diener became the leader. So here, actually, Impact Wrestling tweeted out, they confirmed it. It says, as reported by PW Torch, Big Khan has signed a multi-year contract with Impact Wrestling. So good stuff there. But I just want to say one thing to Big Khan. I went to your Twitter page, and you still have up, former NXT Tag Team Champion. Maybe you should take that down and just write out that you're now a current Impact Wrestling superstar. So just wanted to point that out to Big Khan. Maybe it's time to change your. I know he just signed to say. I'm sure he'll get to it, but he should have got to it already. He should have did it immediately. Change it to Impact Wrestling Superstar instead of former NXT Tag Team Champion. As we know, he held it with Victor of the Ascension. The Ascension was their name. They didn't do from what I was reading. They didn't do so well in the main roster. But nonetheless, Big Khan actually doing, my opinion, a great job for the design, with the design right now. And Impact Wrestling signs him to a multi-year contract. And I like the signing. I like the signing. I like this. Big Khan is another big guy. Um, I think he has great potential in Impact Wrestling. I think it's tremendous potential. I can see now they got Big Con, they got Angels, and they have Dean are all signed to multi-year contracts. So the design could be a team for the next 2-3 years, which is exciting. They could add, of course. They added Sammy Callahan, but I don't think Callahan's going to be a member of the design much longer. You could do that. You could add another member or two. That's not Sammy Callahan, or um, you could do a story. Excuse me. You could do a storyline where Big Con decides that he doesn't want to be with the design anymore, or Dino gets upset with Big Con. Big Con's not doing his job the way he's supposed to be doing his job, and you can run that storyline. So you have a number of possibilities, but nonetheless, Big Con signing. I like what Impact Wrestling's doing. I like what Impact Wrestling's doing. They signed Big Con. They recently signed. They signed a number of talents recently. Angels to a multi-year deal, as I mentioned. Jonathan Gresham they signed. In terms of the deal, was not disclosed. I don't know how long Gresham is signed for. Hopefully, it's for a longer-term deal. Frankie Kazarian leaving AEW to sign a long-term deal with Impact Wrestling, and then you have the youth movement as well, which is something that I've been very vocal about. Over the past year or so, but I'm starting to see the youth movement now that they're bringing in Sheldon Jean, Jason Hotch, Jack Price, Aiden Prince, that they're bringing in. So they're bringing the youth movement, the guys that they could develop into the next stars of Impact Wrestling. So Impact Wrestling's doing a terrific job right now with the signings, and I, I like this signing today, and as I said, I love the youth movement that they're bringing in, and they're mixing it youth movement with veterans, so they're doing a good job. They're not just sitting back and just using what they have, and mix and match, which is what they have done in the past, but they're bringing more guys in, and it's making the product even more exciting now. And actually, with the big con signing, somebody actually tweeted out, "Does anyone still watch Impact Wrestling? Come on, really? Are we still going there? Are people still doing that? Are people still so ignorant, so dumb, so stupid that they still feel that they have to do whatever they need to do to get some attention and tweet out, does anybody still watch Impact Wrestling? Of course, tons of people watch Impact Wrestling. Tons of people watch Impact Wrestling. Impact Wrestling right now, in my opinion, is absolutely on fire. Their roster is incredible. If you don't watch Impact Wrestling, like many people do, you should start watching it. Don't go there. Just the people still watch Impact Wrestling. This is such a stupid comment that people are still making. It's dumb. It's dumb. Just look, if you want some attention, I don't know, go run around the house for a few times. Maybe your neighbors will notice you. But don't be stupid. Don't be dumb. People still going there. Got to turn the battery on. Give me a second. Sorry. Got to turn the battery. Forgot to turn the power on. It's about to lose the battery, so computer was about to go kaput. But the batteries, the power's on now, so we're good. But anyway, yeah, but you don't have to go there. If you ever if if you ever see something positive, and there's a lot of positive things right now about Impact Wrestling on social media, and you feel like, I'm gonna type, does anybody even watch Impact Wrestling anymore? Just stop. Just stop. Go upstairs, make a fish stick sandwich because that's what you deserve, and maybe go outside, take a few breaths of fresh air, because maybe it just your head is a little foggy or something, or maybe take a nap or something. But don't type that anymore because it's stupid. It's stupid. But anyway, I like the big con signing. Looking forward to seeing what the design does now that they're a team. All three are signed for at least the next 2-3 years. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. And I'm excited. I'm excited. Impact Wrestling getting the job done in terms of signing new talent, veterans, and young talent as well. So they're getting it done. They're getting it done. Another announcement today actually was made that Impact Wrestling they confirmed 3 shows now for Chicago. This was announced on the press pass. Frankie Kazarian was on the press pass. I'm sorry, the season pass. I'm sorry, no, the press pass. Press pass. The season pass is what they're calling if you want to buy all 3 shows, but we'll get that in a second. So they did a press pass with Frankie Kazarian today, and they announced that Impact Wrestling is coming to Chicago for 3 shows in 2023 at the Cicero Stadium. So April 28th and 29th will be Spring Slugfest, July 28th and 29th, Chicago Heat. And then October 21st and 22nd, Bound for Glory and Bound for Glory Fallout. So that's coming to Chicago. So it's big news for Chicago fans of Impact Wrestling. But hey, does anybody still watch Impact Wrestling? There's probably going to be nobody at the show, right? You guys sell 5 tickets? Duh. People are still doing that. People say no, oh, no, all five people. And now they're not doing it. I'm not seeing it so much with Impact Wrestling anymore. With people saying, "Oh, you sold 5 tickets." Now I'm seeing it. People are doing it for MLW and NWA, and it's whoever you do it. Just it's just dumb. If you don't like a product, we don't like a product. But just shut up about it already. Anyway, okay, that's the last I'll say about it. But anyways, yeah. So all three shows can be purchased in a season pass. Impact Wrestling has announced its inaugural season pass. This is Fightful as well, and Fightful again, another mistake here by Fightful. I'm sorry, no, they didn't make another mistake. I thought they got the dates wrong. My fault. I made the mistake, so I apologize to Fightful. They didn't make a mistake, but anyway, so as Impact Wrestling has announced its inaugural season pass, which gives fans the opportunity to buy tickets for three high-profile multi-day events in Chicago, Illinois. The three shows include Bound for Glory, will be held at Cicero Stadium. The Spring Slugfest and Chicago Heat events were also announced for April and July, respectively. So Impact Wrestling's we could expect Josh Alexander. We could expect Mickie James, Trey Miguel, Motor City Machine Guns, all going to be there. Santino Morella, Frankie Kazarian, Bully Ray. That's another guy that they brought him back in recently, Bully Ray. And he said he's got he's got he's not leaving, he's not going anywhere for a while. So Bully Ray, again, another veteran that they brought in to mix with the new talent. So it's great stuff. But Joe Hendry, C. Macklin, Moose, Jordan Grace, Ty Valkyrie, Deanna Prazo, all going to be part of the three Chicago shows. So that's great stuff there. The Chicago fans, Impact Wrestling Chicago fans should get very, very excited, I'm sure they are, as they should be, because they got three big shows coming to. That's 6 dates. That's 6 dates of Impact Wrestling action coming to Chicago. Hopefully they'll do that in Windsor. I'd love for them to do that. I know they're coming back in March. I got my tickets, but I would love to see them announce, "Hey, 3 shows in Windsor would be awesome." Then I could go to all 3 shows, man. So great stuff there. Great stuff there from Impact Wrestling, announcing three shows coming to Chicago. Actually, 6 shows, 6 nights of Impact Wrestling action coming to Chicago. Um, and the Chicago crowd is usually a very loud crowd. So I'm looking forward. I'm sure the fans are going to be pumped up for these 3 shows. The last couple of Impact Wrestling shows, the fans have really been pumped up. So that's something to get really excited about. And they've been selling out too. The shows have been selling out. The last TV tapings, from what I was reading, there was standing room only tickets left. So they've been selling out. They sold out. The few shows before that as well, and I'm sure they'll sell out these. I know Rebellion is almost sold out. I believe Sacrifice, where the show that I'm going to, I believe that is just about sold out. So they're selling out tickets. They're in demand. Impact Wrestling, really. 2023 is going to be a huge year for Impact Wrestling, and yes, plenty of people watch Impact Wrestling. Plenty of people watch Impact Wrestling. It's going to be a huge year. Here's something that's very, very interesting, actually. Something that's very interesting. Brian Cage, his AEW contract is expiring soon, and well, this is 411 Mania. It says to an end soon, according to a new report. According to Fightful Select, Cage's current deal with the company will expire in a matter of weeks unless they come to terms on a new deal. Cage signed with AEW in 2020 and had his original deal was set to expire last year before AEW picked up the option. Cage was said to have been surprised by that, as he didn't believe he would be kept on board after being kept off TV for so long. Fightful notes that there have been feelers to gauge WWE interest in Cage, but there's no word on whether there's actual interest on either side. So this is very interesting. This is very interesting. Let me run this past everybody. Bound for Glory in Chicago. Bound for Glory in Chicago on October 21st. Main event. Impact Wrestling World Champion Josh Alexander defends his title against Brian Cage. How the hell does that sound? That sounds absolutely incredible. I know they said there's some feelers from the WWE, but there doesn't seem to be interest. I mean, I think if the WWE was interested in Brian Cage, I think they would have made it known and it would have been out there. Fightful would have figured it out. They would have found out, and they would have reported on it. PW Insider would have reported on it. But I'm not sure how happy Brian Cage is with AEW. He could be very happy, but I know there's been a few unhappy moments for Brian Cage in AEW. Does he want to stick with AEW, and or does he want to maybe go back to Impact Wrestling? I think Bound for Glory, Impact Wrestling, main event, Brian Cage versus Josh Alexander. Alexander defending the title against Brian Cage would be absolutely incredible. It would be absolutely incredible. And if for somehow Impact Wrestling could get Brian Cage back into the promotion for 2 or 3 years, I think it would be absolutely incredible. Will it happen? I'm gonna say it's unlikely, but not impossible. I'll say so. We're gonna leave it at that. It's unlikely, but not impossible to get Brian Cage back into Impact Wrestling. But it's interesting that he's a free agent, and we'll see how it plays out. I'll keep my eyes on that. But I would love to see Brian Cage back in Impact Wrestling. I think that would be terrific. And there's plenty of possibilities for Brian Cage, but I think the initial, if he came back to Impact Wrestling, the initial feud would be Josh Alexander and Brian Cage, and they would just absolutely tear it up, absolutely tear it up. And last but not least, Mickie James actually inviting Mercedes Mone, um, formerly known as Sasha Banks, to Impact Wrestling. This is not the first. This is like the second or third time that she's putting it out there that she's inviting a Mercedes Monet to Impact Wrestling. I think something is going to happen here. I think something is going to happen here because it's not just one time where she in an interview said, "Oh, I'd like to wrestle Mercedes Monet," and that was it. This is like the second or third time in an interview where she's basically calling out Mercedes Monet, and it's getting a lot of press. So I think something might be going on there. If Mercedes Monet were to come to Impact Wrestling, it will probably just be for 1 or 2 shows, maybe a TV taping, and then a pay per view. And that would be it. I don't expect Mercedes Monet to sign any long term deal, but would love to see Mercedes Monet come to Impact Wrestling and challenge Mickie James for the Impact Wrestling Knockouts World Title. He said during an interview with SE Scoops, the current Knockouts champion was full of praise for Mercedes Monet and expressed interest in squaring off with her in a singles match. And like I said, it's like the second or third time that Mickie James is putting this out there. She said she's never had a singles match with Sasha Banks, and I would really, really love to have a singles match with Mercedes. We could just book it at my house. I'll send her the address. I'll set up the ring. And it says at the end of her comment, of her quote, I should say, that's what I hope. She shows up everywhere. Come on over to Impact Wrestling. So I think something might be in the works. I think something. I'm sorry about the hair; it keeps popping out. I have to get a haircut, but I have a feeling something might be in the works here for Mercedes Monet to come to Impact Wrestling for an appearance or two, for a TV taping, and then an appearance to maybe Bound for Glory. Oh, what if we had Bound for Glory? It's Josh Alexander defending the Impact Wrestling World Title against Brian Cage, and Mickie James defends the Knockout title against Mercedes Monet at Bound for Glory. My goodness, forget about Cicero Stadium. Just you're gonna have to get a bigger arena for that. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. But I do feel that something's in the works here, and I wouldn't be shocked at this point to see Mercedes Monet to show up in Impact Wrestling. Like I said, not full time contract, not 2 3 year deal. It would just be a one time appearance, one TV taping, maybe two TV tapings, and a pay per view. And I'd be perfectly fine with that. I'd be perfectly fine with that. As would you, as would you. And the guy who says that, whose questions, does anybody watch Impact Wrestling anymore? If that's announced, I'm sure he'll watch Impact Wrestling, and he'll go, "Wow, this is great stuff." He's like, "I've never, I haven't watched Impact Wrestling, but I'm watching it now, and this is awesome. This is awesome. I hope my fish stick sandwich is ready because I'm hungry." Okay. Anyway, we're gonna leave it at that for now. I'm watching the news. Anything breaks, of course. Any more news, I'll be back. But until then, thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye. Stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye bye.